Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome to Everything We Know About No Man's Sky. So I'm going to be doing a series of these Everything We Know videos now that E3 is out of the way, so we can take stock of all the gaming goodness and highlight some of the points that you might have missed. Now stay tuned this week and over the coming weeks for more of these Everything We Know videos. I've got one coming up on Halo Master Chief Collection, Zelda Wii U and much more. But for the time being, let's get back to the topic at hand, No Man's Sky. What is No Man's Sky? Well, No Man's Sky is an upcoming sci-fi game developed and published by Hello Games for the PlayStation 4. The game features a procedurally generated open universe and an extremely eye-catching colour palette. However, while the game was shown off during Sony's E3 press conference this year and has currently only been announced for PS4, the option for it to appear on other platforms does still remain open. So the premise of the game revolves around planetary exploration, deep space oceans and space battles. Each of the procedurally generated worlds is said to have its own unique ecosystem in addition to potentially unforgiving conditions and inhabitants, such as desert storms, large carnivorous worms, dinosaurs, etc. Now when you start the game you are given a totally uncharted universe and are free to explore as you see fit. But as you gather information you can also share this with others to give you details on the planet's characteristics, life forms, things like that. I imagine that's going to be kind of similar if you've ever played Assassin's Creed 4 to the kind of, social whale sharing location sort of thing where when you're cruising around in your ship, you pull up the map. If your friends have discovered a killer whale, then obviously that appears on your map. But that is obviously a kind of far-fetched version of it, but that's the slightest comparison I can make at the moment. Now given that this is all about space exploration, then when you start the game you are also given your very own spaceship, which is awesome, and this is going to be your explorer's lifeline. You can upgrade your ship as well as your weapons and your suit, and these are all things that you're going to need to stay alive in this unforgiving world. In order to upgrade your various items, you will collect various different resources, which can be traded or I imagine combined to craft upgrade components. So I imagine at some point, given that this is a game all about exploration, but there's plenty of things for you to do, you can play it however you want, I imagine resource gathering, trading and Monopoly and things like that is probably going to become quite a big part of the game. I could imagine that becoming a big sort of economy driver. So, exploration, ships, weapons, upgrades and resources. Firstly, yes, there is multiplayer. As it stands, we don't know a great deal about what you can do in multiplayer, but it is present. I've already spoken about the social information sharing side of multiplayer, but what about the more team-based, party-up, explore-together style of multiplayer, kind of like an MMO? When you initially describe the game, while it may sound like an MMO, in actual fact it's quite the opposite. In an interview with Sean Murray, who is the founder of Hello Games, he actually said, and I quote, "We're doing the worst thing possible. We're taking all the players who play and we're flinging them across the universe and just scattering them." In other words, in a huge procedurally generated world, you start separated. You could play for ages, days, hours, whatever it is, without even coming across someone. Quite possibly the most solitary multiplayer experience ever. There are elements where you'll get crossover and interaction with other players, and obviously space battles and different things like that, where you'll have potentially PvP elements, but in this game it's not the main focus. The main focus is exploration. When they're putting so much effort and so much dedication into these procedurally generated worlds, which are each so varied, then clearly they want you to explore the world and experience the game more so than just kind of teaming up with your friends and going off to try and sort of raid the nearest planet and sort of take out your opponent. So in that respect, I guess it's going to give you that kind of feeling. If ever you play DayZ, you'll know that the very first thing you do when you start the game is you start trying to find your friends, and then you realise that you don't know where you are, they don't know where they are, so you sure as hell don't know where each other are. So that's that's the kind of exploration side, and I imagine that's the sort of feeling they're trying to go for. So that's campaign and multiplayer. What else? There are dinosaurs. That's the same thing that drew me to Stomping Land, and any game that includes dinosaurs gets my vote. But, in all seriousness, what I'm trying to take from this is the fact that there are dinosaurs, and then I mentioned earlier sandworms, and I mentioned there's birds, and obviously if you've seen the video you've got things like antelopes. You can see there are some really varied creatures, and these should go a long way to illustrate quite how varied some of these planets are going to be. If you need, like a sandworm is obviously going to be in a barren desert, like a dinosaur is obviously going to be in this nice sort of green or orange looking field. The fact that you've got these completely varied life forms that all need their own ecosystem to survive in, then you can really start to get an idea of quite how varied this game is going to be. So you can use that as an indicator for what is to come. They did also obviously mention that you will need to upgrade your ship as you go along. I spoke already about upgrades, but what you do need to bear in mind is that upgrades will become a vital part. You can't just jump in your ship at the beginning and decide that you want to go from your side of the galaxy to the other. There are going to be things you're going to come across which are going to get in your way, things that are going to stop you, so you're going to have to think carefully, gather your resources and upgrade. So if you want to meet up with your friends, you want to go to the centre of the galaxy, all that good stuff like that, you can, but you are going to need to think and you're going to need to gather and you're going to need to explore. that is currently everything we know about No Man's Sky. I know it's a little bit brief, but for the time being, that's everything we know. You know, we haven't even seen a great deal about this game. We've seen a couple of sort of demos. The first time it was shown off last E3, and obviously this E3 we saw like a nice longer demo. So obviously we're trying to sort of get as much information as we can from this, but there is a hell of a lot of excitement around this game, so I imagine there's going to be more information to come quite soon. So as and when we do hear more, we will keep you up to date. But for the time being, just as a quick recap, so single player, exploration, procedurally generated worlds, a huge open world that is potentially never ending, multiplayer through social information sharing, as well as the ability to meet up with people, battle, upgrades, weapons, ships, completely different environments, ecosystems, enemies. You know what? It's a crazy list. Point is, there's a lot to do in this game. So, hopefully you enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, in fact, before that, do be sure to drop a comment down below. Are you looking forward to this game? I'd really like to see what you guys are thinking about it. What do you think about the way the game looks? What do you think about the whole kind of procedurally generated side of things? Are you happy with the fact that you might start a game and you might not be able to see your friends for days? You know, I think that's a great idea. But, alas, I want to see what you guys think. So drop your comments down below. But as always, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share the video as well, and also subscribe for daily gaming videos. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.